Aston Martin's Formula One team is basking in the glow of New Year optimism. The question is whether that will be sustained when this new team hits the track. The rebranded Racing Point operation will fully launch as Aston Martin, complete with a green livery, at an event in March. But it's already displaying an abundance of excitement and optimism, having already fully assumed its new identity at the start of January. Now known only as Aston Martin, with a new title sponsor in IT giant Cognizant and four-time world champion Sebastian Vettel replacing Sergio Perez alongside Lance Stroll, the team has a lot to triumph in the early days of its new era. Unsurprisingly, there are already plenty of positive declarations from Aston as a result, but are they justified? The transformation of the Racing Point team seems on the surface quite similar to Sauber's Alfa Romeo partnership. The name above the door changes, the livery does as well, but otherwise it's the same team run by the same people. The Aston rebrand is a legacy of team chairman Lawrence Stroll leading another consortium to invest heavily in the automotive manufacturer. So this is a deep-rooted tie-up with long-term plans to tap into Aston's might for off-track benefits, which in turn gives the established and largely unchanged racing organisation a better chance to exploit its full potential. Team boss Otmar Szafnauer sees a clear and tangible shift in the Aston era. He says that with a new name, committed shareholders, fresh investment and an experienced team, we believe we have all the ingredients in place to compete for even more podiums and hopefully victories too. But it won't stop with a short-term makeover. By the end of 2022, Aston should have completed the build of its new factory at Silverstone, giving the team a major infrastructure upgrade. It also intends to use its new title partner's expertise to increase its computing power, which given F1's massive reliance on the simulated world, should mean better decisions being made and those decisions being made faster. This is at the heart of the excitement around the Aston era, and it's justified. Okay, it's not Aston technology, the car's not being designed or built in Aston's main headquarters, but it is an Aston team, and the new era will tap into that as much as possible. When Aston first announced Racing Point would become its works team, it was easy to scoff and say, well, this isn't really a works team. But that argument misses the point. Racing Point was already evolving quickly, and this era aims to enhance that process. Szafnauer says the process of becoming Aston Martin has become a mammoth task. This deal was done last year, and plenty of work has since been undertaken to ready the team for its rebranding. While that's not a matter of building a new factory in a matter of months or even upgrading facilities in the short term, it's also not as trivial as a few new stickers put in place. And this process occurred in the middle of a pandemic, which still hasn't ended, and while Racing Point was pulling off its most successful season on track, including winning a race for the first time. It was also Team Silverstone's first win since the last of the Jordan era 17 years prior. The 2020 season was not perfect from Racing Point, but it was still a strong effort, only narrowly missing out on third in the Constructors' Championship. Szafnauer believes that the ability to balance that with the off-track workload building up to the Aston switch demonstrates that the team has held on to its strong backbone. That's a reference to the team's immediate past as Force India, which is important. In all the excitement of preparing for becoming Aston Martin and everything it brings, the team is also wary of a vital old strength that must remain. Though it's Racing Point that has morphed into Aston Martin, Team Silverstone is largely the same as in its Force India days, just without the financial concerns. And as Force India, the team was ruthlessly resourceful with a tremendous reputation for punching upwards. Szafnauer says, while the challenge was once establishing ourselves as the most efficient team on the grid, now there's an exciting opportunity to establish ourselves as a top team while still maintaining that efficiency. This long term might be Aston Martin's biggest challenge. It always used to punch above its weight as a lean and nimble fighter, but now it needs to avoid being heavy and slow. If Aston's processes remain streamlined, it will have the ability to react quickly and effectively to new challenges and meet them more effectively without any financial concerns. But that is easier said than done. Becoming Aston also makes it a more corporate identity, and such changes can muddle processes and cultures. Avoiding the drawbacks and seizing on the benefits will define whether Aston makes good on the potential being talked up. Racing Point became a race-winning F1 team last year thanks to outgoing driver Perez, who also finished 4th in the Drivers' Championship. He was the driving force behind the team's best season, even including its Force India days. But Perez knew he was being dropped months before that Sakir victory came, to make room for unexpected free agent Vettel in 2021. It's a big shift for the team and in many ways a no-brainer, even accounting for Vettel's poor final Ferrari season alongside Charles Leclerc. Aston Martin has made it emphatically clear it believes that to be the right choice, talking up Vettel's experience and his knowledge of two race-winning and title-challenging teams. While Vettel will be expected to produce on track as well, the knowledge Aston hopes to glean from him is a huge part of the appeal, as is the boosted marketing value of having a world champion on board. But what of Lance Stroll, the son of team chairman Lawrence, who retains his seat despite a mediocre 2020 compared to Perez? Stroll is a driver with considerable potential that he has only shown in bursts so far. Zafnauer believes Stroll made strides in all areas of his racing in 2020 and expects him to develop further in 2021. He also thinks Vettel will bring out the best in Stroll, calling the lineup the ideal blend of experience, race-winning know-how and raw talent. This relies entirely on two things. First, that a miserable 2020 season proves to be an outlier for Vettel and the team's confidence in restoring his glory days is justified. Second is that Stroll elevates his game from being sporadically good but wildly inconsistent. He isn't exactly inexperienced anymore, heading into his 5th year, but he is still only 22. There is scope to mature and develop, and he has the ultimate motivation in Aston and a colossally good mentor in Vettel. Vettel back to his pomp and Stroll making a step would indeed give Aston a very well-rounded and powerful driver lineup. It's entirely possible that both situations develop in Aston's favour, but equally it would be naive to believe that this is a guaranteed outcome. Aston Martin has been involved in F1 in recent years as Red Bull's title sponsor, but that was very little compared to what the Racing Point rebrand means. Aston's now going to be accountable for everything good and bad in the coming years. On track it will likely be a success. Off track it needs to shed some of the baggage it picked up during a controversial 2020, but that's worth another video entirely. The team recognises what an opportunity this is and what it will signify. Zafnauer calls it a huge privilege for every member of the team, and while he admits it might sound daunting as well, he points to Team Silverstone's record of winning races and scoring podiums throughout its 30-year history, dating right back to its Jordan roots and often against the odds. We've earned a well-deserved reputation for punching above our weight, so we're confident we can do the Aston Martin name proud right from the get-go, says Zafnauer. Aston Martin is one of the most popular and well-known names in motoring, and to challenge the manufacturers it views itself at least the equal of in an automotive context means growing to fight Mercedes and Ferrari on track in Formula 1 in the long term. However, in reality, even maintaining 2020 Racing Point form would put it among proper company and do the name justice. The factors are in favour of this team living up to Aston Martin's reputation, especially if it gets the long-term devotion a project like this merits. But how excited are you by the Aston Martin era, and will you miss the pink livery that came to define Force India's final years and the brief Racing Point identity? Let us know in the comments below, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and click subscribe to stay up to date with everything around Aston Martin's comeback and all that matters in the world of Formula 1.